Assalamu alaikum, everyone. And this is Wanis Chalabi. I'm the principal of Salam School, and I would like to welcome you all to a successful and productive year. I would like first to thank you for joining in. This presentation is going to be two parts. The first part is I'm going to go over some guidelines briefly that guide the whole process of virtual learning. And the second part will be for the Q&A session, the question and answer session. I'm going to spare the longest part for the question and answer session because I know that dealing with the new reality may have produced a lot of questions on your end. And these are all things that we'd like to respond to based on the amount of time and preparation that we've put towards this year. And at the same time, there are certain things that maybe you and us, you as parents and students and us as administration may need to figure out. Again, I welcome you to a new school year, and let's start with our presentation. There are a couple of things that I would like to advise my children on. First, I would like them to take responsibility for their own learning. Now, I know that online learning is a standard mode of learning now, but maybe it has been dedicated more to higher grades, such as high school, college, etc. And the challenging circumstances made us expand the span a little bit, where this became a mode of learning for lower grades. But again, if this is what we have to work with, this is what we have to work with. So I really would like my children to take responsibility for their own learning. Now, whenever you are between assumptions, don't act upon them. Ask a question. Ask for support. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? I don't want to leave you up for your own assumptions because, well, the whole territory, the whole idea of virtual learning seems to be a new ground for us to explore. So I don't want anybody to be left for assumption. If you happen to have a question, if you need any form of support, just contact us. You may very well contact your teachers, contact guidance, contact the assistant principals, contact me. We are all available for you. Again, online learning is a standard mode of learning now. And it should work for us. We should not peg our excuses on it. I don't want us to use, oh, because it's virtual learning, oh, because we are not in the classroom, oh, because the only thing that virtual learning imposes on you is that you take more responsibility of your learning because you can tune in or can tune out. So you won't have a teacher who's physically in the classroom. You'll have a teacher who's virtually or actually online guiding you to that, but you won't have a person who would poke you and say, hey, wake up or pay attention. No, these are things that you will have to self-inflict. So again, and I think we all can do it. This time we are much better prepared than where we were in the fourth quarter, where we jumped in both feet on a very short notice of time. And this time we have put a lot of preparation towards this, and we are providing a lot of support. So make use of that. Next slide. General information. It seems I will have to, I don't know if this can get bigger because, yes, I think I can expand the screen a little bit. I'm sure that these virtual learning guidelines, they have been posted to the school website, particularly our new school website. But I'm going to go over them so that we are creating a clear understanding of how this process is going to roll. All classes will begin from 9 o'clock and will end at 3:30 p.m. That's Monday through Friday. So will you be at your computer or at your e-device attending classes, like instead of you're traveling physically from one room to another in this building, or waiting for one teacher to walk into your classroom after other had exited, you will be the one who is moving. You will be doing that on your computer. So the only thing is that you'll be seeing pictures. You'll be seeing your teachers in front of you teaching live. They won't be physically in front of you. Each class has been reduced to 35 minutes because also we'd like to control the time that the children are going to spend in front of the computer. Plus, we think that you really don't need the travel time, that the physical travel time that used to take up during the time that we were providing in-person learning. All grade schedules have study halls. Those study halls should be used within the day to do your work. So the whole idea of study hall is to create a time within the school schedule during which the students are able to do their assignments so that they are going home with less homework. So during your study hall time, don't waste that chatting with a friend or going or leaving your room to do things that maybe you can do after your school day. No, just stay there and finish maybe you can go for a cup of hot chocolate milk or something like that so that you can revive yourself so you can give it a go with these study halls. But again, I don't expect you to use the study hall as a time to while away. Don't do that, because they can really expand your time during the day doing schoolwork. So make use of the time that has been given to you dedicated to this purpose. Now, some of our students who will need further support, those will be on the resource room scheduled, and those will be notified, and their teachers will be notified as well. Every single course offered at Salam School is allotted instruction time on the schedule. That means, and it is not a tacit understanding, that is an avowed understanding, that is a clear understanding that teachers will be in class teaching, students will be on their screens learning. And as we virtually walk into these classrooms, my fellow administrators or I or a guidance counselor or any, we expect to see actual teaching happen. We expect to see the same mode of teaching that happens in the classroom. Next. Now, these are certain expectations and they are non-negotiable. If you are sitting in front of your screen learning, you're visible. It is not a static icon or picture, and your teacher is available to you. Everybody should be Islamically dressed. Boys, girls, teachers, Muslim teachers. Now, non-Muslim teachers will be professionally dressed. So you shouldn't be dressed in anything that's controversial. That means you shouldn't be dressed in cutoff or a tank top or a t-shirt. I'm not asking you to be dressed like this in a tie and a shirt, but you should be decently dressed, or in your jammies, or you are lying down in your bed. All these things, you are seen, but you're seen as a moving picture. All right. So make a very good mental note of that. So you're going to Islamically dressed, be Islamically dressed, professionally dressed, ready for learning. And that goes to everybody in front of the screen. Anybody that the camera rolls on should be dressed in a presentable way. Now, we talked about that teacher and students will be assigned class times, and students must be visible to instructors. Icons won't work for us, because in order for your attendance to count, I'll have to see you in front of the camera, because this is how we are sending your attendance to MPS. If there is a picture or an icon on your account, That doesn't tell me anything other than your computer is on and your computer is tuned on. It doesn't tell me that you're on as well. Administration will be active visiting these classrooms. And I talked about attendance. Attendance is going to be taken accordingly. And if a student happens to have an excuse that he will need to leave the class, he will need to communicate that to the teacher. Let's say you are sitting in a classroom, nature calls, you have to go to the bathroom. You raise your hand and ask the teacher to go to the bathroom. The same courtesy applies if you are sitting in or the same rule applies if you're sitting in virtual learning. You're exiting because you need to go to the bathroom. You are learning from your house, so there must be some emergency, or maybe mom is calling on you for something, although shouldn't be doing that very frequently. Well, you may very well ask your teacher to leave the class and then come back in. Now, the time that you're leaving the class and coming back in, this is excuse time. You leave the class and you don't come back in, then you're absent, or you're truant actually, and that will be recorded against your attendance. It will count against your attendance. So be mindful of that. Test calendar. Well, the same rules of tests and homework will apply as if we were delivering learning or instruction in in-person mode. So the quota is as is, the grades the same, and everything. Teachers will be submitting their lesson plans to us. You will be submitting your work to them. Everything is happening like it is in a in-person learning, but virtually. Could this be happening? Yes, you can do that very well. Actually, there are so many programs now that they are completely online because this has been hashed out. This has been a no issue anymore. The only thing that I'm trying to emphasize here is to take responsibility for your own learning, because you won't have that person who would just like tap on your shoulder and say, hey, wake up, pay attention to this. This is something that you're going to be mindful of. So again, take responsibility for your own learning, and we're here to support you. Next. Now, the school is giving Chromebooks. Currently, we're giving the Chromebooks on need basis. Soon enough, when we receive the second part of the shipment, everybody will get a Chromebook from us. But if everybody is getting a Chromebook from us, I need you all to understand a few things. Number one, these Chromebooks are school's property. These Chromebooks should be used for learning, and at the same time, learning has to be honest. So in virtual learning, I don't think that this happens only in virtual learning, but whether it is virtual learning or in-person learning, in order for this learning to be actual beneficial learning, you have to learn. So you don't steal others' efforts, others' ideas, others' works. Because if you're doing that, you're not learning. I'd rather that you get a C that you've earned than an A that somebody else earned for you. So all rules of cheating and plagiarism that are cited right in front of you here, and this is posted on the school website, and it is your homework from Mr. Shalabi today to go and review them. You are held responsible for these rules. So the reason as to why I'm saying this is because it really, really hurts for you to have done a good part of the work and then you plagiarized another part of it, and then your whole work is discredited. That's like, it really hurts, because you know what? even if you couldn't go beyond certain limit, or even with all the support that the teachers have given you, you should be proud of your work that, okay, this is what I was able to do, and I'll be graded on that accordingly. And whatever grade that I earn on this assignment, it's mine because I've earned it. Stay away from cheating, engaging academic dishonesty, or plagiarism. Why? Because if this happens once, you will be disciplined for it. If this continues to happen, you will forfeit the course. And if you will forfeit the course, you'll have to make up for it. Now, I have to tell you one thing. When you get older and you go to college, it's only one incident of academic dishonesty, and then you forfeit the whole course. And then you or your parents will have to pay again for that course. So unless you really stick to this rule from the time that you were at school, the price will be pretty hefty to pay for this infraction. Again, in an academic setting, one of the worst infractions a student may commit or can commit will be academic dishonesty, because it just defeats the whole principle of learning. Next. Now, the devices that you have from the school, as I've explained to you, are loan devices. That means they are the school property, they are not your property. As a result, it's like, I'll give you an example here. That's exactly like the lockers that we give you in the school. You have the right to use them because we have allowed you to use them. But these lockers are not yours. You don't take the lockers at the end of the year. So not only these devices are retrievable, that means you will have to hand them back at the end of the year, but also you should not personalize the device. You shouldn't stick your picture on it, or a picture of your most favorite or most popular singer or group or band or whatever. No. So you keep them as clean and pristine as we've given them to you. Also know that that device is a privilege, like your books, like your notebooks. And that device is actually to be used only for academic purposes. That means don't watch Netflix on it. We don't know what kind of virus that you're going to get in that device that may hinder your learning. The computer that I'm talking to you through is a school computer. I don't use it for anything other than schoolwork. That's why it's lasted ever since we bought it, because I only use it for schoolwork. So whenever I need to do my work as a principal for the school, I turn this device on and I work on it. Well, that actually keeps it clean, unvirused, and at the same time, it just expands the lifetime of the device, because I'm not using it for everything else. I'm not using it to going to a website or any personal accounts that could be spammed or whatever. So really, it's my work tool. So if it is my work tool, I am going to keep it in a very pristine condition. That is your study tool. So keep it in pristine condition. Particularly, this is the only access that you have for classrooms. You ruin this, you deny yourself this access. So you won't be able to be in the classroom, and then a whole host of consequences are going to follow. So if you need any kind of help or support to download something on the device or for maintenance or whatever, just contact the IT department. They will help you with that. Now, don't damage the device, because if you damage the device, we won't be able to replace it. Particularly, we're running short on that. Also, you will be responsible for paying for it. So don't leave it unattended. Don't give it to your baby brother or sister. Don't loan it to somebody that you don't know. Just, again, it is your study tool. Like, this is my work tool. If this is my work tool and I'm earning my living through this, I'll make sure that this is in good condition so that I can continue earning my living. And so you keep yours in good condition so that you can continue learning. I will leave the rest of I don't have to read everything here because both the presentation and also the documents are available on the website, and I really don't want to take up your time by reading things to you that you can read yourself. Again, keep your learning device in good order so that you are expanding the lifetime of it, and at the same time, it's ready every time you turn it on to do work for school on. Next. Don't download or remove, sorry, don't add or remove any device to, or any hardware to your device without the approval of the IT department. Don't download software or unseat any software on that device unless it's authorized by the IT department. Don't. Next. Now, I've come to the end of my presentation, and the reason as to why I just zoomed through it is because most of the things that we're talking about here are common sense. Most of the things that we're talking about here is that these shouldn't be issues that we are going to deal with, because these are all givens. These are all issues that really, it doesn't need a lot of thinking. These are issues that should readily be understood by everybody. But the reason as to why I've taken from my time and yours to go over these issues with you is because I don't want anybody to say, oh, I didn't know this, I didn't know that. So we're creating a clear understanding as what are the expectations and what are means of support that we have for you. So don't defeat the expectations. I would like to dedicate the second part of this 1 hour meeting, because I know that your classes will pick up at 10 o'clock, to answer some of the questions that you posed to us. One question here is, when is virtual learning going to be over, and when do we come back to school? Listen, we are all praying for this to be over soon, but we don't have any information as when this is going to end. Actually, when we first came up with the reopening plan, we wanted to run a hybrid model. That means you get some of your classes online and you get some of your classes in person. And then that didn't become possible because the health department said that this is not an option. Now, when I pray that it's going to be soon, can I give anybody specific date? No. But what I can give people here, or I can give you here, is the plan that we have, which is published too. Currently, it's virtual. When things ease up and the health department allows us to reopen the school, we are going to reopen that as a hybrid model where some of your classes will be taken online and some of your classes will be here in the school. And we happen to devise an alternating schedule for that. And after that, we'll go in person. I myself love to come to school. I'm actually talking to you from my office, and I will be in my office during school time here. Do I have any idea as when we're going to come back to school? I don't, but we pray that we'll be able to come back soon. Next question. The plan for K4 student is online learning. It's like they are a grade in our school. They are students in our school, and they will be learning online, and we are facilitating that. So they will be learning on their devices from home. Well, regarding sports, we canceled after we had signed all the contracts for the fall season, after we hired all the coaches for the fall season, we had to cancel. And again, that was not a decision that the school came up with on its own. That was a decision that has been made for the school. Now, a school is a learning institute. The core of the school is academics. The non-core is the extracurricular activities. So if we're unable to get you to the building here to learn, we might not be able to get you on the field or on the court to play contact sports. So so far, we have canceled only fall sports. We are very, very hopeful that we will be able to keep winter sports schedule as it has been planned. Next. There is no denial that with virtual learning comes a lot of screen time daily. What we try to do is to reduce this time. Now we are reducing the the period times. We are also creating many study halls. So the time that will be spent learning at the computer without homework or projects or other things of that sort will be around 5 hours a day. Now, and I'm going to say this because it's a fact and it is not a dig. Our students or our children spent inordinate amount of time on their smartphones and on their tablets. So my appeal to them is that shift this time and spend it towards something productive, which is learning. And whenever you're done with the computer, go outside and play, or go outside and do the things that we used to do when you are your age, like, ride your bike, play some basketball, things of that sort. So that you can ease the screen glare effect on your eyes. Is there any other way around this? No, there isn't. Why? Because the school is responsible to cover stretches of curriculum, and the schedule is a means for the curricular delivery. Hence, if I were to cut down the class time or the meeting between students and teachers, then those students are not progressing on that curriculum to pick up next year where they should leave off this year. And that compromises the child's learning. It might not be ideal, but it is workable. And if our children reduce their screen time on their smartphones and on their other electronic gadgets, this time that they will be dedicating towards their learning is not going to be exorbitant at all. Next. School supplies, why did you need to buy them? Because you're going to use them. Now, other classroom supplies that, since you are not in classroom right now, those will be used when you are back in the classroom. Now, we did not know that we are going to open virtually. We actually thought that the whole COVID-19 situation is likely to work itself out through the summer holiday. Maybe that was a form of wishful thinking, but this is what every school set the docket on. Every school prepared to reopen in person. Actually, some schools sent out the letters that they are going to reopen in person until a few days before the school started, and they came up with the plan that, no, we are providing only virtual learning for the safety of the students and staff. So there is a sense of blaming in that question, but I really don't think that the blame is well placed, because nobody should be blamed here if the plan was that we're going to start and those children are in the building and then circumstances prevented that, then it's out of our hands. And nothing that you bought, you won't use either now or later when you come to the classroom. Now, all the supplies that you bought, the pencils or notepads or notebooks, or take those home because you'll need that at home. Next. Plan of uniforms this year. Well, we ordered the uniforms and they are coming. Again, the whole thing was set that we're going to open the school in person. Uniforms will be here. We'll be selling uniforms. We don't expect the online learning to be going for extended amount of time or for indefinite amount of time. Maybe we cannot define the point as when this is going to end, but it's not going to be indefinite. At certain point, you will be coming back to the school and you will be wearing those uniforms. So we ordered the uniforms and we will be able to give them out to you. Expect a communication from the school regarding that. But again, we hope that you'll be able to wear those uniforms to school very soon. Yeah, there will be exams during virtual learning. Absolutely. Exams and tests are a valid means of students' assessment. So yes, they will. And actually, they will be run in two modes. You can take the exam online, and that will be up to the teachers. Take exams online, or take the tests online, or there will be home tests, take-home tests. And if you need to be setting in a testing session, we will be providing a schedule for teachers to inform the students that on such and such day, you will be in the building taking that test. And this, again, we talked to teachers about this. This will be with administrative approval. So yes, there will be exams, there will be quizzes, there will be tests, there will be, if we didn't play with the assessment quota, we didn't play with that for a reason, is because we expect that we will adapt to this new reality, not by eliminating any of these assessments, but by finding ways to employ these assessments. Because again, if we're unable to assess you, then we will be unable to modify our teaching you. If I know that I have 10 students in the class, 2 of them are not getting this, or 3 of them are not getting certain concept, then that actually, this assessment informs me as much as it informs the student as where we need to go back at it again. And again, the assessment will factor as whether you are promotable to the next grade or not. Have you accumulated enough knowledge that will enable you to move on to a higher grade, or maybe you will need to spend some time mastering this before you move on to a higher grade. So yeah, this will, they haven't been shocked at all. Next. Well, I don't know if this question is hypothetical or not, but in case that you have been placed in the wrong class, which I really don't know how you're placed in the wrong class, the question does not provide a lot of information regarding that. You may very well contact guidance, because guidance is the department in the school that's responsible for placing students. And if somehow you're placed in the wrong class, you will need to contact guidance regarding this. Send an email and CC me. Address Mr. Faraki and Assistant Principal Taher, Sister Zahra. Now, we ask the teachers actually to record their classes. And we ask the teachers to record their classes to address 2 things. Number 1 is that if a student happened to miss the class and would like to go back and learn and listen to the instruction that the teacher had given, so that should be actually available for the students. We are actually recording this to post it on the school website for those who are unable to attend the meeting. So if you are absent either during the class or within the class, you had to exit and somehow you're unable to come back before the class ended, or you missed a good portion of the class, well, you will be able to review that, because yes, the class should be recorded. But I really don't, let's say that you even attended the class, before I say the other thing. If you attended the class, and hey, sometimes we walk into classrooms, we're people, and we walk into the classroom and we're busy thinking about something else, or we have something else on mind, or maybe somehow our attention dropped off during the class. I really would like to listen to an instruction again. That should be readily available for you. So answer is yes. Next. Well, yeah, the plan is that you will be able to take the ACT. Yeah, that's absolutely. Now, if you're absent from class, or if you're absent on a day, if you're absent from class, that's between you and the teacher. The excuse is submitted to the teacher. If you happen to be at the doctor and you miss the day, bring a doctor note, scan it, send it to the office, and CC administration regarding that. It's exactly the same protocol that you would have followed if you were in the school, in-person learning. I don't want to use the word in the school to supplant, because if you are in virtual learning, you are in the school. You're just learning differently. But let's say that you used to come to our brick and mortar school, and your parents came and checked you out, and you went to the doctor. Well, your parents submitted doctor note. It's the same thing. It's the procedure is the same. The process is the same. You will know that the school will be in person a week beforehand. Next. Very good question. If the school starts in hybrid model or in person, and you still feel that it's unsafe to send your child to the school, yes, your child can continue to learn online. Yes, that's an option that's given to everybody. Yeah, teachers will have office hours, and if you need to send an email to your teacher regarding something, or book an appointment with her or with him, absolutely, that should be a non-issue at all. Actually, our offices here in the school will be open. Now, I will say that not across the board. I would say that the main office, my office, and the business office will be open on daily basis from 9 to 3:30. And even if you need to see me in person, I think that an email or a phone call is not rich enough medium for you to address the issue that you are having. Feel free that you call the office, schedule you for a meeting with me, and I will meet with you. That's a very good question too. Conferences this year, can happen via Zoom. We have many electronic platforms that we can utilize. So yes, you can just have times with teachers, and that can happen via Zoom or via computer, or we can actually, we are going to send more information regarding that if the situation persists through the first quarter. We are not canceling parent-teacher conferences. These are great venues of communication between teachers, parents, between the whole school and the parent and the student community. So absolutely, we're not going to do away with that. As a result, we are going to allow for that to take place on our computers, and you can definitely zoom in through your phone. And I think this will, like, instead of your coming to the meeting, we'll bring the meeting to you. So yes, it will happen this way. Yeah, students are going to be held at the same very high academic standards as they were used to. Absolutely, and we're not compromising on that at all. And the whole reason as to why I am taking from my time and yours to meet virtually is to elaborate on that. Academic standards are not going to be compromised at all, either in instruction or assessment or any other aspect of our children's schooling. We cannot compromise on that. So this is a viable standard mode of learning. So we are going to utilize it to the best of our ability. Our appeal to our children is to utilize it to the best of their ability too. So yeah, we're not compromising on the standards at all. Yes, we're going to have live streams with parents, and I'm going to be available to parents, and we should do that per semester. So I'm going to do it once in the beginning of this semester, at the end of the first semester, and at the end of the second semester. Now, if the need arises that I will need to meet with you more frequently than this, as a whole, that's more of a town hall meeting, we will definitely alert you to that. But yes, this is not just one time only. No, the communication will be, it's a must that we should stay in communication with each other, particularly during challenging circumstances like those we're living in. Next. All right. Now, I have some questions that I'm going to read here because the text was so long and we're unable to post that on the screen. Here is one of the questions. Salam alaikum. The student schedule does not support Jumu'ah prayer. ISM guidelines on Jumu'ah prayer state that all attending prayer need to be 15 minutes early or before. So all people have to be there around 12:45. It's also a fard, and all boys and men to go to, I'm just reading the text of the question, I'm not correcting grammar, to go to attend the prayer, and we shouldn't lose focus on our Islamic identity, and we should put Islam above all else, and also would appreciate if you take time and consideration to handle this issue. Now, we are an Islamic school, so it goes without saying that prayer as the second rukn of our religion shouldn't be compromised on. The issue has been brought to our attention that we will need to make time for Jumu'ah prayer, and we made that time. So we created time in the schedule for Jumu'ah prayer. That said, ISM does not invite students, either male or female, to pray at ISM if those students were school age, I should say school age students. So we as ISM organization do not invite school age students to pray in the building. So the time is created so that you can pray as a family, or you pray Zohr. It is not that we are compromising on the second pillar of our religion. Absolutely not. But the possibility for this to happen, you need to have a receiving venue. That means, okay, you need to go and pray at ISM. And if ISM is saying that if you're school age for health reasons, you shouldn't be here, then you shouldn't be there. So again, we made the time so that you can pray, or wherever you decide to go and pray. But the whole idea that ISM stipulates that you should be here 15 minutes earlier, so you will have to be here at 12:45. Well, that does not apply to you as a school-age student because it is not permissible for you to be there in the first place. So the time is given so that you can pray on your own or pray at home or pray as a family. But the whole argument that our schedule goes against ISM expectations is not correct at all. Second question, we're excited to start school, Salam, again, so are we? With everything is COVID-19, I'm actually going to be summarizing the question. We will be adjusting this year. That being said, I'm a little concerned about our children in front of the screen. That has been addressed, which is the time that the students are likely to spend in front of the screen, their e-devices screens. It is not exorbitant amount of time, particularly if they were to forfeit other times that they are spending looking at their smartphones or TikToking or doing other things of that sort. So it will be more of giving priority to learning. And if you really have 5 hours that you need to spend, will you spend it on this or will you spend it on this? If I were a student learning in school, I'll spend the time at my computer learning. Now, again, this is a situation that everybody is trying to make do with what they have. This is a situation that we're dealing with not just uncertainty, but we're also dealing with accommodating the needs of the parents, the expectations of the school, and the expectations of learning. And we can always compromise to come to a happy medium, but at the same time, if this has been mathematically calculated that you need to spend that amount of time in front of the computer learning in order for you to acquire the amount of knowledge that you need to acquire in a particular grade or in a particular semester, and we couldn't reduce it further than this, then I think our concern here should be how we are going to accommodate this, not necessarily how we're going to modify this. So again, it's reasonable, it's doable, and I expect everybody to have a beautiful year, inshallah ta'ala. I hope that I have answered all the questions that came my way. Actually, we did not edit out any of the questions that were posed on the school website because we feel that it is our responsibility as a school, as partners, and teaching your children, our children, and you children. We should not dodge any question, and we should be above board, and we should actually say it the way it is. I'm known for being blunt, but at the same time, that makes communication easier because I'm not going to say something to you that I don't mean. And what I mean here is that those students are amana. We are expected to teach them to certain expectations, and the plan that we have address those expectations, but those expectations are not going to be reached without your help and the dedication of our children. We will provide all the support that you need, and we will provide any kind of guidance that you need. But at the same time, we have to address the situation based on the current circumstances. And I wish my students, my children, a very wonderful, productive year. And I'm sure that you guys are going to do exceptionally well. I wish my fellow educators a productive year. And I would like to ask them to be available, to be flexible, to be understanding, and at the same time, to be serious in teaching my children. And I would like to ask the parents to be patient with us as we are treading this territory. And we promise that we are not going to give our students anything like less than the best we can offer them, because it's an amana. And if we might not be able to give them everything that they deserve, because the sky is the limit for that, but we will give them everything we can so that they can reach the goals set for them. If we don't have any more questions, I am going to wish you all a wonderful year, a year full of success, achievements, and warmth and love. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put us on his path, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala look at us through his kindest eye. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.